Flake, who still lives with his mother, decided to found an organization that produces anti-police propaganda. However, he soon realized that the officers had a brilliant surprise waiting for him when he returned home to Mommy's basement. Thanks to the left's divisive agenda and penchant for violent destruction, fascist organizations continue to garner support from ultra-sensitive liberals across the country, refuting facts in favor of their fickle emotions. Leftists have latched onto the anti-law enforcement movement in an effort to give weight to flagrant lawlessness under the guise of civil disobedience. In cahoots with the anti-white, anti-cop Black Lives Matter movement, the Cop Block organization seeks to dismantle law enforcement through liberal propaganda and incitement to hatred. Unfortunately, one pathetic liberal thug didn't realize that you probably can't take down the system from the safety of your mommy's basement. From his mother's Canton home, 29-year-old Georgia chapter founder Jonathan Beavers hilariously perceived himself as a sort of Robin Hood, standing up for those he believed were abused by police officers. Of course, the reality is that Beavers is nothing more than a failed social justice warrior whose support of thuggery and thwarting of emergency support landed him in the arms of those he most despises. The Maven reports that after repeatedly disrupting emergency calls made by civilians seeking help from Canton police, Cop Block founder Beavers was arrested and charged with 4 counts of harassing communications, 2 counts of obstruction of an officer, and 1 count of impersonating an officer. According to Cherokee Sheriff's Office Sergeant Marianne Kelly, the same law enforcement officers he hoped to bring down foiled Beavers' pathetic and highly illegal activism after he was suspected of a string of crimes involving emergency calls. The Cherokee Tribune and Ledger News reports that Beavers was found to have relayed false information about calls for police assistance and using noise to interrupt radio traffic during calls. He remains in custody at the Cherokee County Jail without bond. The Criminal Investigations Division identified the suspect as Beavers and executed a search warrant at his residence. Investigators located evidence to further their investigation. Sergeant Kelly said, Cherokee Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigations Division, working in conjunction with the Cherokee Marshal's Office, brought this potentially dangerous interference with public safety to a successful conclusion. Beavers specializes in propagating fake anti-police news and videos while running the group Cop Block, a faction that incites hatred of law enforcement officers and dangerous, disorderly conduct. Cop Block is a resource for the education of individual rights through the dissemination of different viewpoints and tactics that seek to curtail the all-too-common rights violations and unaccountability that today exists, the About section of the Facebook page claims. Expectedly, Beavers' mother, Woeline Waldroup, and father, Milton Beavers, offered a cringeworthy interview in which they zealously defend their son while accusing the police of conspiring against him. He would never do that. Never, Waldroup told WSB-TV. They busted through the door. I made them go get the search warrant. They were in there looking for some sort of CDs. They may have some audio stating that it's Jonathan, but you actually have to prove Jonathan actually mashed that button and that button wasn't mashed accidentally, Waldroup argued. That's the first thing they said when they came through the door. Cop Block, Milton told WSB-TV. They had a vendetta against Jonathan. Of course, these dedicated parents fail to mention that their son's illegal activities were traced by police to his phone and were recorded as evidence for his upcoming trial. Absurdly, Beavers' mother believes that the prosecutors will have to prove that her son physically pressed the button on his own cell phone and that it wasn't an accident or someone else's doing. It's safe to say that the court proceedings are going to come as quite a shock to her. Although Beaver seems passionate about his anti-police activism, His organization's popularity certainly doesn't reflect it. Cop Block founder Adam Mueller, also known as Addy Mo Freeman, was arrested for trafficking narcotics in February 2017. It was then that he sold the group's Facebook page to an anti-police fake news company. Now, the site appears to have become stagnant as nothing has been posted since November. The Cop Block organization also boasts the membership of Robert "Uncle Bob" West, a registered sex offender. West was arrested once again after showing up at the homes of several former and active Portland police officers and harassing them.